I work hard doing all that I can. I'm getting money and fans. Does that make me a man? Does that make me a man? To build a man.
What's going on, everybody? This is Dr. Johnson. We are here for another episode of Build a Man. I got my buddy Mr. Paul Black in here, but we are going to have a special episode today because, usually we're all men all the time talking man stuff and how we relate different topics to man situations. But today, I'm going to have a special guest on here after Mr. Black. Special guest. And y'all just wait to see this person because it's going to be something good. Anyways, back to Mr. Black. Mr. Black, appreciate you coming on out here today. You want you to do me a favor and introduce yourself and tell the viewers who you are and what you do.
All right. Well, my name is Paul Black. I am currently the regional field director for Conservation Voters of South Carolina. We're a bipartisan environmental advocacy group that serves to educate, advocate, and elect and protect the planet through political action. But before that, I'm from Florence, South Carolina originally. I'm a Columbia transplant. Came here for school and ended up staying.
Yeah. Who here in South Carolina is from South Carolina or from Columbia? Man, everybody's a transplant, man. It seems like. And if you're not a transplant, it's like all your roots from back to the beginning of time happen to be here or something like that. So what exactly does the conservation... you said it again?
Conservation Voters of South
Conservation Voters of South Carolina. What exactly is their mission? What are they doing?
Well, the main mission is to make sure that conservation is a priority for the elected officials in South Carolina. So if it's political and environmental, we're somewhere in the mix.
Yeah. So how does an African American like yourself get involved with something like that?
So, I originally came from the standard political world. I graduated USC, poli-sci degree, ended up working for the Democratic Party for a little bit, bounced around in state government until I ended up in this weird hybrid program between Department of Mental Health and FEMA. I was a crisis counselor, helping people come to grips with the after impacts of a natural disaster. So helping them mentally recover as well as helping them get their affairs in order to apply for aid for FEMA or government programs. So I began to see the front end impacts of a natural disaster. And I had a little bit of experience between my job hopping in the state government, working with the Department of Natural Resources, trying to get more people like us, more black and brown folks enjoying the outdoors as a diversity outreach specialist. So I used that combination of my experiences between recreation of outdoors, then the natural disaster angle, and then my political experience in a solid position with a group that did it kind of all, and sent an application. And next thing you know, I'm working for this, albeit to me at the time, random environmental group.
Yeah.
I really saw what CVSC can do.
Yeah.
It's like we are probably the most active organization when it comes to state level electoral politics. And with that, we make sure that conservation really is a make or break issue for a lot of the electeds in South Carolina. And there are already a lot that already care about the issue, so let me not make it sound like we're the sole force. There's a lot of elected officials who recognize that the environment's important. Yeah. It's important because we live in it, we enjoy it, it provides income, and if we don't do something, then we're all failing. But I guess I've been rambling a little bit.
No, that's the whole point. That's the whole point. So when it comes to the environment, are y'all focused on environmental issues that are concerning South Carolina, or environmental issues that are concerning the America, or environmental issues that are concerning the world, or overall?
We try to view things from a state lens, but everything's interconnected. The South Carolina isn't just getting warmer. South Carolina alone isn't having daytime flooding in Charleston. Mm-hmm. It's a global issue, but if we focus so much on the global issue problems, then we ignore local solutions.
Yeah.
So we work a lot more on state level work. Like we kind of find our sweet spot is working on state issues, but it's not unusual for us to work on something that's national, or not completely unusual for us to work on something that's a little bit more local, just maybe one region instead of the state.
Yeah. What are some issues that are going on in South Carolina right now that are unique to South Carolina that maybe, we need to know something about, and we probably need to get behind?
Well, one of the issues that is one of the sole provinces of South Carolina would be our high energy burdens. South Carolina is not at the top of a lot of lists that are good, but we're not the most massive state, so you wouldn't expect us to be number one at much. Yeah. I love my state. I'm born and raised in South Carolina, but it doesn't make sense that South Carolinians' energy burden is higher than any other state many years out of the last 5 years. I believe about 2 years ago we were number one. We're usually in the top 5, and that's like saying that's saying that South Carolinians pay more for power bills than Californians and Alaskans than Hawaii. People basically in the outskirts and these far-flung places are places that are just economically way more powerful. South Carolinians are right up there when it comes to power bills.
Which is crazy.
It's like we have a lot of issues going on in South Carolina, and we're working a lot by helping champion renewable energy and by doing a lot of work with the education aspect to make sure people know about some of the things that can be changed, like the Public Service Commission. Commission, yeah, I keep calling it committee on accident. But something else that's unique to South Carolina, well, it's not completely unique. It's pretty common on coastal states, but we're feeling the impact of it a lot more, like the daytime flooding in Charleston. Yeah. It's like, I believe there was an article that came out yesterday said like Charleston has experienced more daytime flooding, or just not daytime, just regular day flooding. It's like no storm surges, no unusual weather event. It's just, it's a regular sunny day, and some of the roads are impassable.
All of a sudden, yeah.
It's like that's becoming more and more frequent in our state. And of course, we have a host of other environmental issues, both small or local, like environmental justice issues, where polluters are running rampant, and then we have larger issues that need a global perspective, but we have to take state actions for it, such as the impacts of our changing climate.
Yeah. So what would be like a solution to like something like that Ronnie put? Because I went to college in Charleston, so I know what it was like, man. When them floods, and people be out there in their canoes and swimming and all type of stuff right down the street, So what is a solution to those issues and concerns that they're facing down there?
Well, there's a quote that you shouldn't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. And right now we don't have, at least from the state of South Carolina, a one-shot thing that we can do to solve everything. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't take steps towards helping remedy some of these issues. For example, we can move towards cleaner energy. But it's like that would, even though on the immediate scale might not they might not stop the floodwaters from coming in tomorrow from King Street. But in the grand scale, it would play a part in making sure that we can solve some of these issues. We shouldn't let our lack of ability to fix everything stop us from doing anything.
Yeah. I agree with that. So on the topic of renewable energy, so y'all, I've been into this renewable energy thing for some time now, and I've been trying to figure out how to make some money on this renewable energy, because obviously, if you get you a solar farm out here, as long as the sun keeps coming up, you're gonna keep making some money. So I've been trying to build me something like that for a while, and I almost had it going through. And then like the day of that I was gonna sign this contract to get this thing going through, some state laws changed, and they had to back out on me right at the last second. So I was gonna be a rich man, y'all, and and they changed the law. So I need to ask Paul, kind of give us a little bit of information on the solar stuff, Give us some background on solar stuff, where we're at, where we were, where we are now, and where we're going in the future for solar. And is it lucrative for me to get back involved with it now?
Well, I can't make any promises on, if you're going to strike it rich.
Yeah.
But I can give a little bit more background on the landscape of solar and renewable policy over the last few years. Originally, when I say originally, when I mean 2013,
I got you.
There was some legislation passed that pretty much opened the state up for clean energy to come in. It made it so that solar was a real possibility. And it was a compromise piece of legislation that allowed for everyone to have a seat at the table, environmental groups as well as the utilities. And they set a cap at that time of, 2% of the energy generated in the state can come from solar energy. And that 2% cap, people thought we'd take 10 years to hit.
Man, they hit it immediately.
Hit it so fast.
Hit it immediately.
Punched it in the face.
Yeah.
And by the time we hit that cap was when you were negotiating that contract.
When I was negotiating my contract. See, I knew it, man. Yeah, that's when we hit the cap, man. Yeah.
So we had this artificial limit that really served no one's interest but the utilities that would limit the amount of clean energy we can generate. And we had some legislation that was going to lift that cap. It was called House Bill 4421, and we got really, really close. But at the last second, there was a tiny, tiny loophole that got zipped through by some utility interests, and unfortunately, the bill did not make it out of the House. But we came back leaner and meaner next year, and and our allies in the State House put forward the Energy Freedom Act, and that served to remove the cap on rooftop solar. It served to allow for easier contracting for large-scale solar projects like what you were considering, and it also allowed for commercial facilities to make contracts to make sure they can take advantage of clean energy. For example, Walmart might want to contract with clean energy providers because they know they have power on all day. They want to get the tax credits. They want to lower their bill because solar energy is just cheaper, point blank, period. And there were a lot of roadblocks in the way for that. So that got removed. And when it came to the contracting for large-scale solar facilities, you're going to build a solar farm on some land, possibly out of Hopkins.
Possibly out of Hopkins, y'all.
Possibly out of Hopkins. If you're going to put all the infrastructure down to make sure that you can build a large facility, you need to make sure that you can continue selling this power to the same person, to the grid for more than 1 year.
Yeah.
But before the Energy Freedom Act passed, there was some wonky contracting stuff. So it's like, you have a contract this year. You might renegotiate
it next year. Yep, they said that. Yep.
So the Energy Freedom Act is working to standardize a lot of that. And then, of course, when it came to rooftop solar, just remove the cap. Allow people to put as much rooftop solar as they can and fully reap the benefits of clean energy. Because the cheapest forms of energy production, number one is wind energy. But South Carolina owned land, we don't have that much wind.
Yeah.
We're not like the Great Plains state. Offshore, we might have some possibilities, but onshore, there's a there, but we haven't reached it.
Yeah.
But the second form of energy that comes in right after it and cheapest to produce is solar energy.
Oh, man.
Like it takes about 3 times the amount of cost to produce the same amount of energy with a coal or a nuclear plant.
Yeah.
So it's the cheapest form, period. But the battle for that isn't done yet. We won the Energy Freedom Act. A lot of organizations were taking part. A lot of great legislative champions came forward, and we got it across the line. It passed unanimously in the House and the Senate, and was signed into law. But with that legislation, it moved a lot of the debate from the State House to the Public Service Commission. And I know I mentioned them in passing quickly earlier. The Public Service Commission is this quasi-judicial organization. It's a group of commissioners in their office that work to set rates and settle any type of any type of public service style thing like a telecommunications company, any type of power company, water company, sewage company. As long as it's privately owned and not municipal resource, then it's rate setting and what it can do is allowed by the Public Service Commission. Right now, a lot of the issues that the Energy Freedom Act was working to address, they've been kicked to the Public Service Commission. So they have all this power to set rates, and they have all this power to, for example, all of the rate increases that the VC Summer plant commanded before the abandonment about a year and a half ago, that went in front of the Public Service Commission. And I know there were some issues about the Palmetto utilities up in Northeast Columbia where they rose their sewer rate up and their water rate. That went in front of the Public Service Commission. Wow. And basically, they have this outsized impact on people's everyday life because, like I mentioned before, we have one of the highest rates of high power bills, and per income. And they have all this power, and not many people know about them. They actually have an election coming up.
So we should go over there and complain to them.
We should.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
And we're working right now to help educate people about them because it's not inaccurate to call them the Supreme Court of Energy. Yeah. And they're elected in the same way the Supreme Court is. There are elected officials elected. So they're going to have votes at the State House come January or early February about who's a commissioner, who's going to make it onto the board. Half the board is being reelected right now. So we're making sure that people know about them so that when the time comes so that people can either run for office because their filing closes on Friday. And for those who aren't running, there's also just making sure you're aware of it so that when it comes time to vote, you can call your elected official, your state senator, your state House rep member, and let them know, hey, we want to have a commissioner that is open-minded, that believes in, that isn't basically someone who works for Dominion or Duke Energy. Basically, we want someone that is a free thinker that will take a fresh view at all this and vote for what's best for South Carolina.
Wow, man. Well, as you can see, this man is a wealth of knowledge, of information and energy. He can teach you how to get some money doing this renewable energy stuff. Real quick, we got a couple more seconds. If somebody else wanted to reach out to you all and have some more questions or anything like that, any follow-up, how can they contact you?
Well, one of the best ways is via email. My email is paul@cvsc.org. That's paul@cvsc.org. That's for Conservation Voters of South Carolina. Or you can shoot me a text or a phone call, 843-496-0860.
All right. Well, appreciate you coming on out here, brother. We have this special guest coming on next, and y'all stay tuned because you don't want to miss this one. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Dr. Jermaine Johnson, and I'm excited to be bringing to you our new podcast entitled Build a Man. So we're going to be talking about all things man-related. We're going to talk about politics, business, anything that can help a man become the strong foundation that we know he's been called to be. What's going on, everybody? We are back after that break. I've got my special guest in here today for the second half of this episode of Build a Man. So I'm going to give y'all 2 seconds to guess who this person might be. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and let you know. This is the illustrious, amazing, and beautiful woman behind the man, Dr. Evan Patrice Johnson, y'all. Y'all give her a round of applause. All right. So usually we're talking to all men all the time, but today I figured since she was able to stop by my office, which is where we're recording at my office, I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and just have her on here today. She just came from taking a test for some big thing she's always doing. So let's just ask her a few things, and we'll talk about some stuff about me and her, and we'll get right in. So who are you and what do you do?
Okay. Well, my name is Evan Johnson, and I'm a pharmacist. What else would you like me to say?
Where you from? Tell us about yourself.
Okay, I'm from...
I know you. I live with you.
Yes.
Do they know you?
I am from Columbia, South Carolina, born and raised. I've been here my entire life. Went to AC4 High School, went to college at College of Charleston and met Jermaine. After that, I went to pharmacy school at Presbyterian College, and now we are back where I started in Columbia.
All right. So pharmaceuticals and things like that, how difficult is that?
Extremely difficult, for sure.
How long did it take you to finish your degree there?
So you can usually attain a pharmacist degree or PharmD in about 6 years. For me, it was 8 because I attained an undergraduate degree, but you don't necessarily have to do that to become a pharmacist. You can do 2 years for undergraduate and then your 4-year PharmD program.
Okay. All right. So for the viewers out there, how awesome is your husband?
Jermaine is amazing.
Oh, God, yes.
I'm very much in love. He's awesome.
Okay.
You're a great guy.
You hear that? I'm kind of awesome, y'all.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm kind of awesome. And for other people who are out there, what does it take to make a successful marriage? Now, we ain't always been perfect, y'all. We ain't perfect. Sometimes she get on my nerves, but I get on her nerves too. But also, she knows chemistry and stuff, so I try to tone it down some because they know them potions and things and them things to put you to sleep, yes. and be nothing traceable like that, like scandal. So undetectable stuff. Yeah. I keep it calm for the most part. Anyways, what does it take to make a successful marriage, in your opinion?
In my opinion, I definitely believe trust, communication is huge, and just love and respect for each other.
Okay. Pretty much. Well, tell me, what are the things that I do that get on your nerves the most?
Really?
Yes, really.
I think, me personally, one of the things that gets on my nerves the most is if we disagree and you just want time to yourself instead of talking about it at that moment. That really gets on my nerves.
Men.
A lot.
Men. Don't all y'all want time to yourself? All right. Us men, we go in our cave and we want to process the information, and we say, you know what, I'm just got to think this thing out. I gotta come to grips and come to terms with my own thoughts and feelings, and then we come back and we're better and ready to serve again. Correct? Yes. Go ahead and nod in agreement. All right. But obviously that doesn't agree with Venus over here. So we got Venus, Mars. You know what I'm saying? And obviously that doesn't agree with Venus. So
I'd rather attack it immediately, squash it, be back in love, and move on. I don't need no time in between. Let's talk about it right now.
Whatever. All right, so let's move on to the next thing. All right, so how come you can't decide what you want to eat?
Because there's so many choices. I think most women are indecisive, but I am extremely indecisive. I can see the same thing multiple times and still have to take a moment to choose. You know that.
Yes, but my people don't know that.
I don't know why. I need to think about it.
Okay,
that's why.
All right, that's why. All right.
I'm entitled to change my mind as well.
Yeah, she changed her mind. But you know what happens? You know what I do? I've learned the art, and I mastered just choosing the same thing she chooses, and so
you have done that a lot lately.
Yeah, see, yeah, I order what she orders. And it's like, hey, look, we got the same thing, so you can't eat off my plate. You can't eat off my plate.
Really, that's what you've been doing.
Just order 2 of them. I'll have what she's having, sir.
That's so messed up.
I'll have what she's having.
Well, thank you for letting me know that.
Yeah, that's the secret. That's the secret to it, man. Have what she's having, and you'll be all right. So where do you see us in 10 years from now?
Knowing who you are as a person. kind of affects where I see myself as well.
Okay. She's trying to ride my my belt loop.
No, we're trying to build together.
Okay.
But I appreciate and I respect your way of thinking and how you move and grind. So I take that into consideration of where I see myself in 10 years. So I can say that in 10 years you may be at a place in your career and entrepreneurship that you won't be working so much, you'll be more directing. And so that will leave me less time to work because we'll have, more spending expenses.
Oh my
and
God.
we'll be like, vacationing and spending time together and just enjoying life.
Negative. But okay. So in 10 years for me, I'll still be working, trying to claw my way to the top of this thing.
We're supposed to retire at 40.
Retire at 40? That's in a few years for me. That's in 6 years.
But you are going real fast. Like, I believe in you.
Man, look. That's in
support
6.
you.
Nah, but retiring at 40, that's in 6 years for me, man. I would just die of boredom if I was doing nothing at 40.
You can work 1 day a week.
I'm trying to be in shape though. I gotta lose some weight, y'all. I done put on some weight, so I gotta figure maybe if I retire early, I can find time to work out.
We can do that together.
She doesn't work out, y'all. Don't even lose her.
I would like to.
She's fronting for the camera.
I would like to eventually.
She eats and eats and eats and eats.
I enjoy food.
Yeah, she eats for taste. I eat to survive. There's a difference.
Now you eat for taste.
Yeah, but that was, I had a red velvet cake for breakfast this morning.
So my ways are rubbing off.
Yeah, it's her fault, y'all. She drugged me down to the bottom to eating food and all the other stuff, So it happens, man. It happens.
I call it civilian life because you're not like an athlete anymore that's on a strict eating schedule and exercising. So now you're like me, so we can like eat together.
Yeah, no. All right, y'all. So this is Build a Man. So a lot of people a lot of people do know, but then a lot of people don't know my personal story, where I come from and how I got to being who I am now. With all the work that I've done and all that, and where I've come from, and how gotten to this point to where I'm a full-time entrepreneur, consultant, political figure, and all this other stuff. But I wasn't always there. Wasn't always in that headspace. Wasn't always thinking the way that I was thinking, and I definitely wasn't always Dr. Johnson. So, y'all, if y'all seen any of my other shows, I've always given my wife the praise and all that of helping me out to figure this thing out and give me the motivation and the encouragement and all that other stuff to pursue these dreams and aspirations to becoming the person I am today. So, Dr. Johnson.
Yes, there are two of
this is good. Yes. This is Build a Man.
Okay.
What could you say to other women viewers on how to build their man?
I think I would say just be patient and kind of look more at the bigger picture. For me specifically, I've always seen greatness in you.
Seriously, she's sucking up now,
I'm being honest. Like from Jump Street, like you were different, and you've proven that today. Like you don't think like normal people do, at least the ones I know. So, just being able to foster that difference and then give a push and support. I think a lot of times women, we can kind of say, that's crazy, or that won't work, or, I need this now, or it doesn't look like what I want it to. But I think we as women need to be like more supportive of aspirations and, giving that push and encouragement, like you can do it. And if it doesn't work, you can try again. Just be supportive. Most of all.
All right. What about so there was a movie. What was that movie? Was it Acrimony? I think it was Acrimony. One of them Tyler Perry movies where the girl, the guy, he was like he was really trying to invent that battery, and he was living off her. He was living off, and he was trying,
yeah.
And she was supporting him for a while. Then she got fed up, and then he made it, and he paid it back and all that, and got mad. What about those women who are supporting a man who wants to be a rapper.
Wait, I was gonna put in that like it wasn't solely that she stopped supporting him; she let like other women in her.
Oh and she let other women in there influence her perspective. So how do you respond to all that there?
I mean, do he really have to be a rapper?
I mean, look, we got a lot of aspiring rappers here in South Carolina.
Well, I'll just say this, and I'll say it from my perspective and how I was raised. It's like, you know, you can be anything you want. If you think it, you can be it. So, I mean, I also think you need to be honest. Like, if he whack and it don't make sense now, don't even like be like, babe, you need to hang that up. But if you can tell that they're very passionate about it and, you know, they're serious about it and they're making moves and trying to accomplish it, then I would say support it, you know, especially everybody not me, Jermaine. If you have the means, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a partnership when you're with a person. It's not just, you know, take all the time. Like, for us, it's like, I did my thing, you were there to support me through pharmacy school. And then it was your turn after I finished and I was making money. It's like, now it's your time to, you know.
I supported her. I supported her through pharmacy school. She don't be trying to give me no credit, but I supported her through pharmacy school, man. So I worked and slaved for the man while she did that now, and now I'm flying like an eagle.
Yes. And then it was my turn to work and let you, you know, step
flying
out.
Like an eagle.
In your dreams and do your own thing. So I think that's important too. But what's the other question you asked?
I don't remember.
I know you said something about being a rapper, but then you asked another question.
So are you going to support the rapper?
I mean, I would if he's passionate. He has a plan. I'm not going to support nobody that don't have no plan now. You had a plan. It was unconventional. By all means, but you had a plan.
No, my plan was not unconventional. It was unconventional to her.
To me,
unconventional to her. I don't leave unless I got it all. I have to have a backup plan with a backup plan with a backup plan with a backup plan.
I support that.
And I got to have a few dollars set aside, saying, like, this is what I'm going to do this because I just need to figure out how to replace my income that I got now. So that nothing in the household changes. I don't want to take no dollar less. We're going to do whatever, you know, that right there, and we'll fix it from there.
Right.
Going forward, for yourself, what do you see for yourself personally? What do you see for yourself personally in the next 5 years?
There's so much. Just as a woman, a professional, a mother, a wife at 30, I feel like I've kind of lost a little grip about, like, you know, what I want and what I want to do. I don't know what you're talking about. So I think in the 5 years, I do have a goal for myself, at least for next year, to kind of, you know, figure out what I like, what I want, what my vision is. And so in 5 years, I would say, or I would like to be living in that discovery that I hope to find next year.
You hope to discover.
For a year 2020. That's my goal for myself.
All right. So, let's talk a little bit about your attire that you have on today.
Okay.
What does that mean?
I am wearing today an Andrew Yang campaign shirt. Yang 2020. Make America Think Harder. And I will say, just being in the house with you and hearing everything that, you know, you were excited about and doing my own little research too, like, I'm in support.
We're Yang
2020.
We're Yang Gang over here. All right. Let's see. Is there anything else you would want the viewers to know about us or me or yourself?
I would like the viewers to know about you. Like you said, that this is not the man that I met. He was still this cute, don't get me wrong, but he just wasn't like all put together like you see today. And I just want to let people know that, you know, as women, a lot of times we kind of want the total package right then, and we have all these specific guidelines, and we aren't willing to settle for, you know, anything other than the checklist that we've made. And I feel like a lot of times we just need to, you know, bend a little bit and be more open to what's possible, because you never know what's going to happen or who this person will be without, some love and nurturing and just encouragement. So
she wants to make another baby, y'all. That's all that is. That's all that is right there.
at least one more.
No, we're not having no more kids. We got enough. All right. So, all right. Well, anyways, appreciate y'all for listening to another episode of Build a Man. I got to thank my special guest here, Dr. Johnson.
Thank you for having me, because he told me he wasn't going to put me on here when I
did
asked
tell her that
in the beginning, so I appreciate you.
Yeah, so she got a special cameo today, and we won't have her back, y'all. So
at least let me prepare. I wasn't even prepared today.
So anyways, thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Build a Man, and hope y'all like this one.